Michael Porter Jr. is going ballistic, but based on what Damian just said, one of the worst teams in the East. Has he individually done enough? Has he individually shot his way into the All-Star game? How do you guys believe?
In the Eastern Conference, 150%. Look at the list.
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I'm
I'd
gonna
love
let
to
y'all
see him in
vote,
the
and I'm
game.
gonna let y'all vote to influence me a little
So
bit.
right now, it's like between, just for the conversation, it's like D. Mitch, Scotty, Jalen, Duran, Norman Powell, MPJ, and Cat. And Ron, if you look at the list outside of those names, it starts getting real wonky.
How can you give it to him over Brandon Ingram?
He's
I understand he's played better, but he has played better than Brandon Ingram. I'll give you that. But Brandon Ingram is on the fourth best team, which is hold on, half a game behind being the second best team in the conference.
Who has a bigger
Jalen Johnson?
And he's also played more games.
Jalen Johnson over
Who has a bigger on-off this year, MPJ or Brandon Ingram?
I don't care.
You don't care who's more impactful to their team?
That's not the context of the conversation.
What do you mean it's not the context of the conversation?
How many games has Michael Porter missed?
8?
8 or 9.
Yeah.
Okay, so not only is Brandon Ingram played more games, he has also played way more minutes. Ingram is top 10 in the NBA in minutes played this year. Not something that you would have thought coming in. He has been doubled and tripled consistently. He plays on a team that is the worst three-point shooting team in the league, whose best player, by the way, is shooting 9% from three this month. Ridiculous.
And Mars, just for context, by the way, the when Michael Porter Jr. played with the Nets, they have a 118 offensive rating, which would rank like what, top 10 in the NBA this year, basically. And they're 15 points better with Michael Porter on the court this year.
MPJ's on my All-Star team. He don't mind. Whether or not he makes it, I don't know, because the Nets do suck, and I don't know what the coaches think.
I don't have a problem with him making
if it was up to
I
me,
have an issue with him making it over players who deserve it more than him, which is to say Norman Powell, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes. I don't think he deserves it over any of those guys.
So do you?
We disagree. I think he deserves it over all of them. So
all of them, he deserves it over.
Yeah, Square One's in. But the other two, I think he deserves more than.
So you are taking this like he's played better thing very literally.
Yeah, Penn, you might be new to that's how I take everything.
Shea and Luka made first team All NBA when they were we didn't make the playoffs. They play better than everybody. That's the way it works.
I'd like to see him on it.
I mean, I just don't like. Again, I understand that there are certain teams that we hyper focus on up here, right? We hyper focus on Denver, we hyper focus on OKC, and rightfully so. They're really good teams. I personally focus on the Raptors a lot, and the reason that I'm making a case for Ingram is I understand the analytics may not be super great, but I am understanding the context in which this man plays. He has played without a center for most of the season. His third best player has been missing for half the season. RJ Barrett has been out a lot. When those players were actually healthy, this was a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense on pace for nearly 60 wins. The fact that we are having to play a rookie, a 6'6" rookie, mind you, at center, who just got injured, by the way, because Luka doesn't know how to play fucking defense. The fact that we have to bring Elijah Martin, AJ Lawson, yes, Google them. They exist. They're people. They actually exist.
AJ Lawson.
Yo, like we bring these dudes off the bench and I ask them for a spark. Ochai Agbaji, Grady Dick shoot 31% from 3. I'm sorry. This team supporting cast is freaking awful. Jamal Shed is starting games. He is not a starting point guard. Emmanuel Quickley is not a point guard.
This is not a.
I'm not gonna lie. You can do all the context you want. Michael Porter Jr. is playing with guys who probably shouldn't even be in the NBA.
Hold up. Is Michael Porter Jr. playing with Nick Claxton? Because Nick Claxton was starting on the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, he's playing with Nick Claxton. He's also Day'Ron Sharpe is also his backup big. They're both better than the Raptors bigs. Yes, and
he would start on the Raptors. I can name you.
Now go through the rest of the roster, please. Go through the rest of the roster, please.
Okay, hang on. Give me a second here.
I got it. Igor Demon, Drake Powell, Noah Clowney, and Nick Claxton.
Igor Demon is cool for a rookie. Not a very good NBA
Zaire Williams, Danny Wolf coming off the bench.
Zaire Williams is not a good NBA player. Noah Clowney showed flashes. Not a good NBA player. Terrence Mann, Drake Powell, Tyrese Martin, not an NBA player. Like, the team lacks NBA players. And you're going to be like, Brandon Ingram's playing without a big man. Cool. Michael Porter Jr. is playing with Nolan Traore.
I will give you a definitive list of players who would have started over some of the players who started for the Raptors over the last couple games, which is to say we have started Sandro Mamukelashvili.
What has to do with Brandon Ingram not being better than Michael Porter Jr.?
I'm trying to tell you that there is a sizable gap between the success record of these two teams, and that you have to say
Not because of Porter.
Okay, but how can you just remove a player from the
negative,
context?
The Nets have a negative 16 net rating when MPJ is not on the court.
Yes, I
I
understand.
think that tells you how few
And they're
NBA
0-9,
players
0-8
are on
without
that
him.
team. When MPJ, they don't employ NBA players. They are the worst team in the NBA when MPJ is not on the court. You know why? Because they don't actually have a roster of NBA players. By design, by the way, they're tanking. We know that.
You
They're
think
tanking.
Tyrese Martin is not an NBA player?
Yes, he's a negative impact player. He's not an NBA.
Is he worse than Ochai Agbaji?
That's your rotation.
No,
player, by
he's
the way.
not.
But he's playing with Scotty Barnes.
Why is
Okay, cool. So
The problem
why
is
is
MPJ
why
is
is
one of
Tyrese Martin not
the way
not
you're
worse
selling
than
this
Look
to
at
me,
Damian.
you're acting like,
Damian,
like
sometimes you want to
MPJ
get in your
is
bag. I know
weird.
you do, but you just like hold yourself back. But go ahead, say what you want to say because he's playing with Scotty Barnes in a playoff rotation. MPJ is playing with a bunch of rookies, which is good.
This was a lottery
And a bunch
team
of
last
bench
year.
players with Jordy Fernandez, and they're intentionally. By the way, the reason he hasn't played 8 games, Mars, they're intentionally sitting him because he's too good.
He's helping their chances of winning.
And they're winning too many games with Porter this year. They've sat him 8 times. Mars, they have a record this year. I'm looking at their record right now. They are 12-30. They've sat him for 8 games and lost all those games. That means outside of those games, I think they're 12-22 with him, which that's
They
not
actually
bad.
Apologize to the fans.
12-22 is not bad.
Yes,
when your
given
team
the
doesn't
roster
employ
they
NBA
have.
players, yes.
Oh man.
What do you
Like
think?
you can say you do all this context for the Raptors, but then you're going to ignore all the context of the Nets because that doesn't.
The
help
Bucks
the
are
agenda, I
18-25. Is that Giannis's fault?
Last year they were 28th in offense without Michael Porter Jr. This year they are 26th in offense.
What's their
with
rating?
Michael
What's their rating?
Porter.
What's their rating? What's their rating?
Are you saying like net rating?
Well, no, what is their
Last
offensive
year?
rating this year at the team?
As a team, this year they're 111.
They're 7 points better. They're
They were
118.
113 last year.
They're 118 this year with Porter. 118 when he's on the floor this year, which will put them, I think, top 10. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mars.
Okay, but does he also happen to play with a lot of starting level players, and then the bench is basically all rookies?
You mean Brandon Ingram?
On off?
You mean Brandon Ingram?
What do
Yeah,
you
he
mean?
has a better offense on the floor than Brandon Ingram.
Brandon Ingram floor raises a lot of really shitty lineups.
Not better than Porter.
Oh my god!
I'm literally
As
looking
a
at it.
Jokic fan, you should really understand.
the players.
What's that got to do with the conversation is?
The players that MPJ has played the most minutes with are Nicholas Claxton, Noah
Good
Clowney,
player.
Terrence Mann, and Yegor Dioman.
I will argue
That is a
every one of those-
118 offense to you.
Every one of those players would play significant rotation minutes for the Raptors.
Why do you
Every
keep
one of them.
ignoring the Raptors have a better roster?
Congratulations. That
The Raptors have a
rotation, then
much
not to
better
mention,
roster
you
than
go
the Nets.
beyond that. You go beyond that. Is Zaire
Much better.
Williams, Drake
15 wins
Powell,
better?
Tyrese Martin.
15 wins?
How is this 118?
You think Scotty
offense?
Barnes is representing 15 wins?
The Raptors, by the way, we're not arguing Scotty. We're arguing the second best player on the Raptors playing an auxiliary role to the best player on the Raptors per your own information. So not only is Brandon Ingram eating off of somebody else's back, he's doing it with a better squad and
That's ridiculous.
good situation, a playoff team. Are they in a home court advantage right now? Are they 4 seed right now? 5 seed? What
They
are they?
are half a game removed from number 2 seed, or like 1 game removed from the number 2
So
seed.
wouldn't that make my point then? Like the team
No,
is much
because
better.
Scotty Barnes and Emmanuel Quickly and most of these
Pin,
guys
do you
were there
realize
last
how much?
year.
By the way, just
No.
to pack this up, Mars and Damien, because please speak feel free, because you're not speaking. Because I know why. I don't know why you're not speaking. Pin,
What are you
if
doing?
you replace this Porter with Brandon Ingram right now, do you know how much better your offense would be with Michael Porter Jr. playing next to Scotty Barnes instead of BI?
No, it wouldn't.
Because they need Brandon Ingram's isolation and whatever. Cool.
Yes.
Shot
creation is a really major thing.
They just
Teams
have
zone
different skill
against
sets.
this team.
Yeah,
This is
that
what I'm
doesn't
trying to
mean
tell you. Y'all just look at the numbers and the on-off splits. You don't watch either one of these teams. Let's just be real and
I
honest
don't
about
watch
it.
the Nets. Have I? Because I don't watch Jordy
You watch a
Fernandez.
ton of Nets.
I don't watch Jordy Fernandez, who I told you should have been coach of the year last year.
Who
So
brought
just
up Jordy
because you're
Fernandez up here
upset,
first?
just because you're upset that people disagree with you, don't mean we don't watch the games. You and me disagree because you think BI has been more impactful than Porter, even though all the numbers are saying
It's not-
Porter's clearly been more
Whoa,
impactful.
whoa, whoa. Don't
So
put
wait,
words in my
Porter
mouth.
has
Don't
been
put words in
better.
my mouth.
Porter
I
has
didn't-
better
I didn't say
numbers.
he's been
Better. Hold
I
on.
didn't say
Porter
he's
had
been
better
or more
numbers.
impactful.
Porter had better numbers. He's
So we're
shooting
arguing
better.
nothing.
He's playing better with a worse cast, and he's more impactful than Brandon Ingram
I'm
this year.
telling you
But
that
you're arguing the eye over.
No,
because of record.
I'm arguing that the second best player on the third best team or fourth best team in the Eastern Conference does, especially when he is the number one option on offense, the leading scorer on offense, cannot be ousted from an All-Star game because of the best player on a 12-win team. That's what I'm arguing. And you wouldn't make this argument for anybody else.
So
because
one
Michael
that's
Porter
more
Jr.
impactful and better. Leave him off the
Michael
All-Star game.
Porter Jr. has been better, yes.
And
He has
more
been better.
impactful,
He's
yes.
been
More
efficient.
impactful.
He's
We're
been more
once again having a
efficient.
debate for no reason. I don't know.
Okay,
No.
yeah. 15-point swing. I don't
Everyone
know.
agrees
Ultimately,
MPJ's been better than Brandon Ingram. Why are we arguing?
Well, I could argue.
And
I could very easily argue that Evan Mobley's been better than Jalen Duren, but Jalen Duren's going to get it. Why? Because the Pistons are significantly
You just
better.
said you would understand why Jalen Johnson could get it over Jalen Duren. You said that 12 minutes
because
ago.
he's significantly
understand
better.
it.
And also, the Hawks are a 20+ win team. There has to be a cutoff, man. You can't just blanket
To
over
you, there
nuance.
has to be a call. You're the one making it. I
So
don't
you're-
agree with you.
So Pascal Siakam hasn't been better than some of the players that are going to make the All-Star team.
Name them.
Okay. Pascal Siakam's been better than Karl Anthony Towns. Yes, he has.
Cool. I don't have count
Cat's
my
making
All-Star
it,
team.
by the way. Yeah.
So
when
what do you
I
want me to
hear
do?
when I hear who you have on the All-Star team, I want you to tell
Actually,
me.
wait,
that
I did.
12
Actually, I might have had cat because I did this.
Okay, perfect.
I did this.
Pascal
on the
Siakam has been
podcast.
better than Karl
Hold up,
Anthony
Mark. Save your list for next week. Save your list for next week.
He's also
next
been better
week,
than
you
Brandon
guys
Ingram.
pull
Change.
up.
I'm just gonna say, did I have cat? I had cat. I had cat at the time. I also had MPJ at the time. I also had Jalen Duren at the time. I also had MPJ at the time. I had Franz at the time. This was before he got hurt. So this is how long ago it was. But yeah, I'm perfectly fine with MPJ being on the list with the 12 names I said.
I
Yo,
think
well,
ultimately
Pin,
though, Pen,
next-
I think ultimately though the All-Star team, like the coaches aren't getting that deep into the context anyway. So I think it's gonna be far simpler when they just go who's having a better season.
The
And I think
coaches
Michael
that
Porter
triple
Jr.
team the coaches that triple team Brandon Ingram every single night are not going to vote him for the All-Star team. I'd love to see it. I'll crash out the very next day.
Yeah, because they're like, we send more coverages at Porter because we can send more coverages at Porter, and it's not working.
They don't cover Porter differently than Brandon Ingram.
Differently, they send coverages at him all the time. They blitz him all the time off of DHOs. They have to, and it doesn't matter. He's still hitting the shot.
I'd be surprised.
Penn likes
Yeah,
advanced
makes
stats, right? And he likes impact metrics.
No
Data
one is
baller.
debating the impact.
I'm not.
metrics.
You don't even know where I'm going, so calm down. Data Baller is a very good site. It tells you the on-off splits and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But one thing it also does, it tells you the impact metrics of the teammates you share the floor with. And would you care to know that Michael Porter Jr. has shared the court with one player who is deemed a positive offensive player? One player. Everyone else on his roster is deemed a negative. Nick Claxton is a negative 1.4. This is Darko plus minus, a very well touted stat. Noah Clowney, these are the guys he's shared the minutes. I'm going to go in order. Offensive help. Nick Claxton, the most minutes, negative 1.4. Noah Clowney, negative 0.9. Terrence Mann, negative 1.1. Ye Gore, negative 0.5. Zaya Williams, negative 1. Drake Powell, negative 1.4. Tyrese Martin, negative 1.2. Daron Sharp, negative 0.1. So basically a neutral. The only positive teammate he shared the floor with this year in 189 minutes is Cam Thomas at plus 0.9. Ben Seraph, negative 2. And Nolan Traore, negative 2. It's not far-fetched to say that Michael Porter Jr. is legitimately playing with no offensive help. Literally no offensive help. And yet they have a top 10 offense with MPJ on the floor. Like, I don't know why we're arguing things right now. They have a 104 offense when he's not on the floor.
The
The
context
team can't score
here
when
matters.
MPJ is not on the
I
court.
gotta.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the check throw smoke and the hoes go ham. You ain't never seen hoops out here did raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. Yeah, this that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.